Look at outside, Anne. It's so wet and I'm just really in the mood for something good. What are you having for us today?
Well, it's a perfect day for comfort food, and I'm going to make some grilled cheese sandwich, tomato soup, and Caesar salad. And what are you going to make?
I'm going to make eine deutsche Schneemousse Torte mit Äpfeln. It's a very fancy cake with a lot of apples. It's German, obviously, because I am, which is good for everybody. So I'm looking forward to watching you make while I'm knitting.
Right,
You cook?
Let's get going.
Yeah.
So let's get started with the sandwiches. We're going to make grilled cheese sandwich, and I've got 3 different types of cheeses. I've got a very, very sharp cheddar, a wine cheese, and we're filming in Seattle, and I've got a Beecher's cheese as well, their flagship cheese. When I make grilled cheese, I like to have, in addition to the cheese, sweet and savory. So for us, that's going to be, the sweet will be a fig jam, and the savory will be a ground mustard. So we're going to start with just making one here, and I'm going to put the fig on and get pretty generous with that.
Are you putting fig and mustard on it?
Yes, but one on each side.
Okay.
The mustard on the other side, and the cheese in the middle. I'm going to heap on the cheese because I like it heavy, just any which way. Normally I would put apples in this sandwich to get something crunchy and also to get our fruit for the day. But Juta's making a beautiful apple dessert, so we're going to get our nutrition there.
And of course, getting your fruit in a dessert can only be trumped by getting your fruit in a liqueur.
That's right. Or in our wine.
Yes.
And now we're going to put butter on the bread so that it toasts nicely when we fry it in the pan, but we're going to set it aside for now and get on to making the soup. Now we're going to make the tomato soup, homemade, so much better than the canned stuff. And we'll start with sauteing the onion. And I like to use olive oil for my oil. And most every soup I know about uses onion, so that's where you start with what you have to saute. Put all that in and saute it until it gets nice and limp. It takes about 5 minutes to do that. All right, the onions have reached the point I like. They're a bit browned, and that's what you need. That's how they impart flavor. And I'm going to quick throw in some chopped garlic. And you have to wait and put garlic in at the end because garlic burns very fast and very easily. So I'm just going to mix it in here maybe for a few seconds, just like that. As with everything in the Fabulous Women cooking show, we have wine. So I'm going to just deglaze a bit with some wine. And see how the wine then took away all the brown bits there. That's called deglazing. And that flavor, though, is still in the onions mix. So that's great. That's exactly the way we want it. I've got some oregano and thyme from the garden, and that goes really well with tomato soup. A little salt and a little pepper. And by heating that up before we add the liquids, it just brings out the flavors, whether it's fresh herbs or spices that you buy. The next step is we're going to deglaze one last time, and I've got some chicken stock. I'm going to put just 2 cups in. You could use vegetable stock if you want to keep this vegan. Next, I'm going to add the tomatoes. So I've got one here that is kind of crushed, and one of the same kind of tomatoes, but they're whole, and we're going to pulverize those later. Just gives different texture. Okay, that's it for now. We're going to let that simmer for a couple hours. I've taken the pot off the stove. It was brewing for about 2 hours so the flavors can be imparted. And now I'm going to use the immersion blender just to make it creamy. You need to take care to make sure that the blender is fully submerged, otherwise you get a big mess and it splatters all over. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And I'm doing it in pieces. Okay, I think we're good there. And now I'm going to put this back on the stove and add the cream. I have heavy cream here. And this is what makes it cream of tomato soup. I like a lot of cream, so I put more in than any recipe ever calls for, because I think that's the best part. I'm gonna taste it. Needs some more salt, which you save that to finish at the end, because you never know how salty something's gonna be. A little more pepper, and voila, we've got cream of tomato soup. Okay, today's salad is a Caesar salad. So I've got some arugula, some just regular leaf lettuce, and then we're gonna make a pretty heavy Caesar dressing, so I need something heavy to receive it. So there's some chopped kale in here as well.
Okay.
You can use anything, but this is what I have, so that's what we're gonna do.
I like the different shades of green in there.
Yeah,
That looks really
nice. Again, we always try to eat healthy, don't
good. Yes, we do.
Yep.
If not drink healthy, at least.
Then just to give it some heft, got some panko crumbs here. Gonna just throw that in, and then a bit of parm that's freshly grated. And don't use the stuff in the can that comes, because it's all dried up. So it's worth grating yourself, which has been done here. And then I'm gonna put the dressing on. And this is homemade dressing, and again, it's heavier than some of the others you might have, but it's worth making from scratch. You can get a recipe anywhere online, and we're gonna put it in here. See if that's enough. We can always add more. Toss it. I've got some croutons to add, and these are made from scratch too. Anything you can make from scratch is best, because it just adds so much more flavor and a lot less chemicals. And there we go, and there's our salad. And now for the big finale, we are going to toast our grilled cheese sandwich. It's already been buttered on both sides. Got the pan warming. It's important to make sure it's pretty hot before you put it in, otherwise it can get soggy. So we're just gonna let it crisp up on each side. Okay, let's take a look and see if the second side is done. Pretty much done enough, and we'll call it good and turn things off, and we're ready to plate up.
I have 4 egg whites in this mixer bowl. When it has a certain consistency, I will add vanilla sugar and white sugar. I'm going to check the consistency of the egg white now. It needs a little bit more. The sugar is not quite dissolved. Try this again. Very good. I'm starting my baking project with lining the pans with parchment paper. One here. I'm putting the parchment paper just on the bottom of the pans.
And I noticed your parchment paper comes from Costco, which surprises me a bit. I thought you would need something from Germany for parchment paper. No?
Well, with the tariffs, it's almost impossible to get that nowadays. But I have to say, it's just as good. These scissors are terrible.
Are those mine?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, of course. Yeah, they're not meant for paper. They're meant for food.
I can tell. Should have brought my little first grade scissors.
The ones
sharp
with no point.
Yeah, they're sharp.
To protect the elders.
So in case you're wondering why I'm just putting parchment paper on the bottom, this is almost like a sponge cake, and it just requires a little butter on the rim here. That also helps the sides of the cake to be really nice and brown. So that's it. Now we can start baking. I'm starting my cake today with butter. It goes right into my bowl. I also need sugar. And I have 2 things here. I have 125 grams of regular white sugar, and I have 2 little pouches of German vanilla sugar. This is very good because it's pre-mixed, has the vanilla in it. You don't have to do anything. I need a mixer to start this, please. Look at that. Where did that come from? I've scraped the sides here a little bit. Make sure it's all in there. Get mixed very well.
Say, I know you have a reason for everything you do.
Yes.
There's no step that gets wasted. But these look different than the kind I'm used to. They're a lot lighter weight. Are they for butter or?
No, it's just what came with it. That's all.
Then you
What
have no reason for it.
No, I don't know what you mean. I have to beat this out.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I need 4 egg yolks. Oh, look at that. Yeah, they are. And it's important, the recipe says 1 egg yolk at the time. So it's going to be a lengthy process here, not good for my impatience. Another one. The next step is going to be the flour. And it really is important to scrape the sides because sometimes the sugar is not quite incorporated. Now I need flour and I need milk. Thank you. To the hand. I have flour and baking powder. I'm mixing this up a little bit and then just put in about 4 tablespoons or so. Alternate with a little bit of the milk. That is the dough. And now I need to put this in the baking pans. Thank you. And the other one. Thank you very much. When I first made this cake, I couldn't believe that there would only be such a small amount of batter. And of course I made more because I didn't trust it. It was too thick then. Oops. Thank you very much. It's important that you spread out the batter very evenly. Going to be thin, but it's intended.
And it looks like it's very important that you have an offset spatula.
Yes, thank you.
You
It really
pointed
is.
out to me.
Mm-hmm.
My kitchen
Was
you found was
incomplete.
unworthy, incomplete, so you sent me that size offset spatula and a really large one. And to my chagrin, you were right.
Well, I knew that, but
Yep.
I'm glad you admit it. Finally figured this out after how many years?
Yeah, I'm only in my
35?
60s. Yes.
Yeah. I tried it with a spoon, and it really works much better with an offset spatula. So when this is done, I'm going to put the egg white on top. Again, it goes about half and half. And I also need almonds to go on top here. I need almonds to go on top of this. Thank you. Put it right here. And again, the offset spatula is very helpful here. And then it says 4 tablespoons, but who cares? This goes in the oven at 350 for about 20 to 25 minutes. Yep, it needs another 5. I'm testing the apples, same knife as before. And they are done. I'm going to take them over to the sink and pour out the wine, because I need that for the next step. I'm pouring the wine back into the pot. I have some pudding powder, 2 packages, this kind, also from Germany. You have to add sugar to it. It's not like the American kind that is so full of sugar already. So you start mixing that. And the liquid that you use always has to be cold Otherwise it will just clump immediately and you just have one big blob. Get this out. I'm going to mix some of the wine and apple, and you have to constantly stir it until it thickens. I can let this go for a second and check the cake. It's pretty good. Yep, that's done. You can see how the meringue is rising and has puffed up. This is getting nice and thick now. I'll add just a little bit more wine there. And then you just have to make sure it really boils. Otherwise it will taste very starchy. You can also tell by the color. You might see that. It gets a little darker. That's it. Fire off. The pudding goes back in a bowl. Can you smell the wine? It's delicious. I know it's very good because I've tried the wine. So this is mixed enough. Now it's just a matter of timing, because this has to cool down a little bit, and I have to take the cakes out of the pan so they can also cool. I'm trying to get these cakes out of the pan. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on a wire rack first so they can really cool, but I'm trying to loosen it a little bit away from the parchment paper. There is one. The good thing about this two-part cake is the one that doesn't come out so nicely, like this one, will just go on the bottom and you cover it. That's it. Nobody will know. Everything just has to cool. The cakes, the pudding, the apples, and then we can put it together. The cake is cool enough. I can put it on this small plate. I like that for preparation. This is a very, very handy tool. I don't know what it's called in English. It's ein Tortenring, if anybody cares. So I got that. Now I'm going to put the apples in, and they are, like I said, cool enough. They will still spread, but they will not melt the meringue that's on top of the cake here. As you can see, I changed the plate. I put it on this bigger one because that lends itself to presentation. I took the Tortenring off so you can see how distinct the layers are. But I'm going to put it back on. There we go. Now I need whipped cream.
And I've got the almighty whipped cream.
Thank you very much. It's not only almighty, it's only the only thing that counts. Once in my life when I came here, I had Cool Whip and I almost died. So therefore, now it's been my mission in life to educate Americans about real whipped cream, as if I don't even have to say real because there is nothing else. It's whipped cream and that's it. And we'll spread this out, and it's nothing but cream and sugar, and it's only the best. It's healthy, it's good for you, for every part of your body. And I've been trying to really, as I said, educate Americans, but I'm not always successful. I still hear there are people who eat Cool Whip and such.
But they are not our friends.
That is correct.
Yes,
our friends have learned, some the hard way, but nevertheless they have learned. As Anne says, I've been indoctrinating people. I have been pontificating, as I have to. It was not always fun or easy, but I don't go for fun anyway. But it's just what I have to do. It's my mission.
And your calling.
My calling, yes. So this goes on top. Goes somewhere cool. And before we serve it, we're just going to put a little bit of powdered sugar over it. You can see how nicely the almonds have browned, and it's done.
Very good. And now we get to enjoy the fruits of our labor.
Yes, it's about time. But look at that, empty glasses. So, Prost.
Cheers
To us.
To us.
Guten Appetit.